Learning Zili Nishmas Etta Ahuva Bas Yaakov Masechah Sotah Perek Gimel Mishna Gimel. Ad Shaloi Nimchaka HaMegillah, before the Megillah was erased, Amra, the Isha says, Eini Shaisa, I don't want to drink. So the halacha is Megilta Nignezes, we're not going to force her to drink. The Taisyanta brings down from the Rambam, even though she's not saying she's Tmei, she's just not interested in drinking, we don't force her to drink. Rather, we take the Megillah now and we bury it. The Yerushalmi says, Taisus and Rashi bring down Tzidei HaHechal or B'tzirei HaHechal, and then Minchasa Mispazeres Al Hadeshin. We take the Mincha, Mispazeres over here Rashi says means that we burn it, Al Hadeshin, Ve'ein Megilta Ksher Lahashkes Bo Sotah Acheres. You can't use this Sotah to be mashka a different Sotah. So that's all talking about before the Megillah was erased. Let's say Nimchaka Megillah, let's say the Megillah was already erased. So then it depends. If she says she's Tmeya, then we also have to pour out the water, and the mincha is also burnt al hadeshen. But if it was Nimchaka Megillah, va'amra eini shaisa, if she says, she doesn't say that she's Tmeya, she just says, I'm not interested in drinking. So now, since the Megillah was already erased, so we're going to force her. Ma'ar in Oisai, which the Gemara brings down from a Brisa, that we put these like iron teeth in her mouth to open it up, and we force her to drink. And we force her to drink the Meisaita. So in summary, the Mishnah says that if it was before it was Nimchaka Megillah, so then it doesn't make a difference if she's saying Eini Shaisa, machmas that she's Tameh, or machmas she's not interested in drinking, we're not going to force her to drink. But that's because the Megillah wasn't erased. But if the Megillah was erased, then it depends. If she says she's not drinking because she's Tameh, so then we're not going to give her to drink. And Rashi says the svara is because since she's Tameh already, she's saying she's Tameya, and then she's Beduka Vaimedes, and the point of the water was only to be Mevar a suffix. Over here there's no suffix, she's saying she's Tameh. But if she says that she doesn't want to drink because she's not interested in drinking, then we're going to force her to drink. Mishnah Daled, Eina Maspekes Lishtois Ad Shepaneh Marikis Veineh Boltois Vimis Memelas Giden. As soon as she drank the water already, it took an effect. Her face turned colors and her eyes was coming out, and her Gidin, you could see them already. And the Gemara says this is going like the Shita that you already makriv the mincha before the Shtiyas Hamayim. But according to the Shita that would hold that you first drank the water, which we had in Mishnah Beis, that you were mashke v'achar kach makriv mincha, then this bedika, this wouldn't show until after the mincha was brought. Nothing would happen until after the mincha was brought. The Mishnah continues, V'heim oimrim haitziyu, they would say right away to take her out, Shaloi tetame ha'azara, in order that she shouldn't be metame ha'azara. So the Gemara asks the question, what do you mean? She's not metame the ha'azara, because a mace is mutter b'machane levia, tame mace mutter likanas b'machane levia. So the Gemara answers, we're not afraid that she's going to die, we're afraid Shema tifris nida, and nida is asar over there b'machane levia. The Mishnah continues that everything we said until now is assuming that she has no zuchos. But, and this is also the Tana of this Mishnah, later on there's a Mishnah that's going to argue, but the Tana of the Mishnah says, in yesh l'schos, if she has a zuchos, which the Gemara originally says is chos mitzvah, maskanos ha-Gemara is chos Torah. How does the Isha have chos Torah? That she's mekaryim, misnaya, begavaya, v'nachin, gavaraya, also be midrasha, that she helps her children and her husband learn Torah. So if she has such a zuchos, so then it's Taila Shana Achas. Then for 1 year, nothing's going to happen to her. And then the Mishnah says, so this Yeshchos Taila Shana Achas, sometimes it helps for 1 year, Yeshchos Taila Shtei Shanim, Yeshchos Taila Shalosh Shanim. The Taisyanta brings from the Rambam is Hakol Lefi Maseh, it depends how much Torah, how much Chos Torah she has. The Mishnah continues, Mikan Oimer ben Azai. Ben Azai says from here, the Chayiv Adam Alamed is Bitei Torah She'em Tishta Teidei Shatut Chos Torah. It's important for girls to learn Torah. Why? Because if they know this fact about the Torah, that if a Isha has Chos Torah, that the Meisaita is not going to take an effect, and they're not going to have any questions about the fact why the Einish didn't work if she was Tameh. Rabbi Eliezer says, Kamalami bitay Torah ki ilu loimda tiflis. He argues on Ben Azai. Ben Azai says, Chayev to teach their daughter Torah. But Eliezer says, no, a girl shouldn't learn Torah. And if she learns Torah, it's as if you're teaching her tiflis, which is shtosim and not good things. Rabbi Yeshua expounds further, and he also holds that you shouldn't teach an Isha Torah. And he says the reason is because right to Isha bekav v'tiflis mitisha kabim v'precious. Isha would rather have a smaller amount of mezainis v'yetashmish motziloi than to have a lot of mezainis. And therefore, since her mitzias is to have this tiflis, so then you don't want to teach a Torah because that's keneged her teva. The end of the Mishnah says, Hu Yomer, he would say that there are 4 groups of people. A chassid shaita, which the Gemara explains is someone who sees a lady sinking in the river, and he says it's not derech eretz to look at the isha, and therefore he doesn't save her. So that's a chassid shaita. Rasha aram, which the Gemara gives 7 examples. The Rav brings one of them is that a person says over his taina when he goes to a bezdin before the other baldin comes, and he tries to convince the dayan his way before the other baldin comes. So he's trying to use his armimas, his smarkite, and wind up being over the isser of leisisa shemashav. The third case of the Mishnah is Isha Prusha, which the Gemara comes out is talking about an Isha who did kishuf in a way that people thought that she was amazing. She made it that ladies couldn't give birth, and then afterwards she used her kishuf that they could give birth, and she made it seem like it's through a tefillah. Umaka is prushin. The last one is that a person hits himself and makes himself look like he has so much yisurin, and he's such a tzaddik. And all these things, it's not teiche kibara, and therefore harei elu mavle ha'olam.